皆さんこんにちは。イチミリ編集部の小津です。本日は、ポッドキャスト企画という形でですね、なんとご縁がありまして、リバプールの、番記者さん、デイビッド・リンチさんをお招きしております。David, thank you for joining us podcast today.
No, thank you for having me on. It's a pleasure.
Thank you so much. So first of all, please give us your profile.
Yeah, so I'm a journalist who's been covering Liverpool for probably 10, 12 years now. I've previously worked for the Evening Standard, the Sunday Mirror, and also the club itself for a period as well when a few years back. So like to think I've got a good idea of what's going on at Anfield and that I'm quite close to the club and obviously have sources there. So yeah, and I'm also I'll admit I'm a Liverpool supporter as well. So it's an ideal job from that perspective. I'm very lucky to be able to do it.
Thanks. So is this your first time appearing in the Japanese media?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is actually. Yeah, I think the closest I've come. I remember I did an interview once with Shinji Okazaki. What was it? Okazaki? Was
Okazaki?
it?
Yeah.
Yeah, Okazaki used
From
to play
Leicester.
for Leicester because I did
Yeah.
an interview with him about Takumi Minamino when he was at Liverpool. So that was a while ago, but yeah, never actually appeared in Japanese media. So yeah, pleasure to do that for the first time.
Yeah, thank you so much. And have you ever been to Japan before?
Unfortunately not. I would absolutely love to because we were talking, weren't we, just before we came on about some of the television programs I've watched around Japanese culture and things like that. And it's a fascinating country, I think, just so different to what I'm used to as well here in Europe. And yeah, an amazing place that I would love to visit sometime, hopefully.
So do you have any impression of Japan?
Yeah, it's an amazing culture and like I say, totally different to what I'm used to. I mean, it's iconic worldwide, isn't it? I mean, so many elements of Japanese culture have blended into Western culture as well. So I got a very good impression of Japan and think it's fantastic. I also know you produce some very, very good footballers as well, and some nice guys as well from my dealings with Minamino. So yeah, I've got a very, very good impression of Japan and Japanese people, that's for sure.
So I know this is a really dumb question, but do you know any Japanese?
Very, very little. Even from, I maybe picked a little bit up in some of the programs that I watch, but yeah, maybe as far as konnichiwa and that's probably the limit of my Japanese, to be honest. It's very, very different to English and incredibly impressive that you can speak English, I think.
Thanks. So you already talked Takumi Minamino and also like Wataru Endo. So kind of like what is your content and your just job thing or like more personality things is like.
Yeah, so with Endo in particular, obviously he's only been at Liverpool for a year now, but we've spoken to him quite a lot. He's a player who he stops to speak to us quite often because obviously the players have a choice whether to do that or not, but he does stop and speak to us quite often. And I think a really good character, really nice guy, gives his time up to us and speaks really well. Again, his English is flawless, which is incredible. And yeah, he seems a really good character. And I know obviously he's in an interesting situation at the moment in terms of his place in the team, but he's very determined to fight for it and stay. And I think that speaks a lot about what he's like as a character, which is a really good, strong character.
Thanks. So now let's get started. Theme. Are you ready?
Yes.
Thank you so much. So of course it's about Liverpool. And this season, so Liverpool got a huge change, right? So Jurgen Klopp decided to leave that club, and also like Dutch manager Arne Slot came in, right? So and also like yesterday, Liverpool played their opening game on Premier League and won 2-0 against Ipswich Town. And what was David's impression that game?
I thought Liverpool did well. I thought first half it was pretty difficult. I thought Ipswich they came out and made it a difficult game. They were very physical, and you would expect that from a team that has just been promoted. You know, the effort that they put in made the game really difficult in the first half, and Liverpool kind of struggled to cope with that. But I thought the manager made some really good tweaks at halftime, and then you know, I thought Liverpool really showed their quality from that point onwards, and very dominant in that second half. Absolutely deserved to win it. Could have won more comfortably. Could have been 3-4-0. But a really good second half performance, and I think a lot of encouragement to take from that for Liverpool in terms of how they turned the game around, how the manager dealt with the problems, how the players played across the pitch. Really, it was a really perfect opening day and a good test for Liverpool.
So Liverpool changed the formation yesterday, like a little bit from last season. So they had changed from 4-3-3 to 4-2-3-1, right? So what do you think is the purpose of this?
It's interesting actually, because when we went to Slot's first press conference, he actually denied that it was a 4-2-3-1. He said he sees it as a 4-3-3. But you're right. Even watching it, it looks like a 4-2-3-1 to me, definitely. And so I agree with you. But he doesn't like to describe it as that. But I think you can clearly see that there are two midfielders sitting and one in front. That is generally how it operates. So I agree with you. It does look a 4-2-3-1. And I think the purpose of it is just to get more control. I think Liverpool were always, you know, previously one holding midfielder, two in front. And so that's a little bit more attacking, a bit more emphasis on the attack, where if you have two that are sitting back slightly more, it gives you that little bit more protection and control, and allows you to control the game. So I think that's his idea, is that he wants Liverpool to be a little bit less chaotic and a bit more in control going forward. And I think the early signs are that maybe, you know, we saw a little bit of that yesterday, that they could control that game. So I think that's his idea. Obviously, the idea will be to be in more control than Jurgen was. But obviously, whether it will bring the same results, we'll have to see. That will be the true test.
Yeah. So that, do you think like that's 4-2-3-1 is going to basic system this season, or just Arne Slot tested like that game? So could you guess like next game going to back 4-4-3-3, or like that is going to more basic like 4-2-3-1?
Well, he argued when he said that he didn't really kind of want to describe his system as a 4-2-3-1 because he likes to be flexible in terms of how Liverpool will build up. So sometimes at Feyenoord he would use a 4-1-4 and kind of use it in that, you know, line his midfield up in that way, and try and do different things in build up. So, but I do think this with the two holding midfielders, it is going to be the system that he always comes back to. I feel that that's going to be the kind of main system that he uses. So I kind of expect him to stick to that going forward.
Okay, thanks. So this podcast going to make a lot of football Japanese fans, except like not Liverpool fan too. So tell us about general tactics of the club.
Yeah, so I think a lot of similarities to Klopp, in terms of certainly the pressing is still there, the high energy football, and across pre-season as well, we saw a lot of counter-attacking football. Who's still really good at that, which was a big thing for Jurgen. But there are some differences as well. I think that there's a little bit more patience in possession, and they want to use the ball, and sometimes they will slow themselves down to make sure they can be a little bit more precise and like I say, a little bit less chaotic. So that's definitely one element of it. And I think we are seeing a little bit more as well precision in terms of playing out from the back. That seems to be a big thing that Slot likes, definitely more than Jurgen, who was a little bit more direct. So I think that's going to be one of the big differences is that sort of playing out from the back and taking those risks with the ball at times. So that's the biggest difference, I think, and I think that's kind of, you know, what we've seen of his tactics so far.
Okay, so yesterday, like I felt like Ryan Gravenfeld played really well, and also like he got a really new role as a number six, right? So, and yeah, I think that was really particularly impressive. And which players made David impressed?
Well, I love Gravenberg's performance as well. I thought he, particularly as that sort of deeper role is not seen as maybe natural for him. I thought he did really well in there, defended really well off the ball, did a lot of good work. And then when he had the ball, we know he's got that talent to pass the ball through the lines and be really creative. So I really, really liked his performance. And then a few others, really. I thought Mo Salah was brilliant. Salah, he always starts the season well. I mean, is it nine goals in the opening day now? He's absolutely incredible. He always starts seasons well and he always finishes them well. He's got everything. So I thought he looked really sharp. And also Trent Alexander-Arnold, who hasn't had a lot of pre-season, but again, so creative, the driving force of that side. And I think he's going to have a lot of fun under this manager because of the style of football is really, really going to suit him.
So just ended one game, but what is your expectation and also like issues after one game?
I think in terms of issues, that there was that little bit of a slow start, which again has been it was something that was there at the end of Jurgen's time. They were starting games quite slowly and probably need to sort of stop that. And so and also making sure that you win physical battles, because again, that's something he spoke to the players about at halftime. He said you need to win your duels. So that's an issue that he's going to want to get on top of. In terms of expectations, I think because it's a change in manager and you've got to bed things in and you've got to know and accept it's not going to be perfect straight away. I think expectation really should probably be, if they can have a similar season to last season, which is to finish in the top four, secure Champions League football, and if they can win a trophy, fantastic. But I think, very, very impressive start yesterday. So we can see if they can build on that and maybe do even better.
Okay, thanks. So now let's move on about Japanese number six. So last year, Wataru Endo had a really great season in his first year, right? So, but however, a lot of media said Endo is not slot plans this season. So what is the current situation of Wataru Endo?
Yeah, so it was very much my understanding that he wasn't really a big part of the manager's plans. And I think the fact, obviously, he didn't play yesterday, that kind of suggests that that's definitely the case. Wasn't massively involved in pre-season in the games where you think Slot was using the team he would go forward with. But saying that, and even though he's not currently part of the manager's plans, it's also my understanding from the players' side of things that he, is very determined to stay and fight for his place, and he really wants to do that. And I think the fact that Liverpool didn't sign Zubimendi has maybe opened up a little bit of space for him to maybe fight his way back into the team, because there's an awful lot of games in a season. So opportunities are going to be there for him to play. And if he does well and he impresses the manager, then he gives himself a chance of making a bigger role for himself over the course of the season. So, he seems like, I say, the type of character who would do that, would really put the work in and try and grasp his opportunity. So I think the failure of signing Zubimendi has given him a chance, really. So let's hope he takes it.
So that means, like, do you think like Wataru wishes stay in Liverpool?
Absolutely, yes. He doesn't want to give up on his dream of playing at Anfield, and he did have a really good season, as you say. I thought it was very, very good last season. Crucial to Liverpool getting in the top four, crucial to them winning a trophy. Some brilliant performances in there. So, I totally understand why he doesn't want to just give it up now. Obviously, there'll be conversations with him and the manager between now and 30th of August, which is the deadline. But I think he's resolved to stay, and I think, as I say, I think the opportunity for him to stay is going to be there. So a real chance for him to fight his way back in.
Thanks. So what are your thoughts, like possibly Wataru Endo leaving Liverpool, or like it's more likely that he will stay this summer?
Yeah, I would say more likely to stay now because there's no midfielder being added.
Yeah.
Maybe that will change in the next couple of days or so. You never know in the transfer window. But the fact that they haven't added anyone, I just don't think they can afford to lose him now. Specifically as well, because there's talk that they might loan Stefan Bajcetic out because he's had an injury and he needs to play regularly. So again, if that happens, you have to keep Endo. You need that squad depth. So if you were to ask me right now, I would think the strong money is on that he will probably stay with Liverpool.
Mm-hmm. So what are your thoughts? Like, Liverpool failed to sign Zubimendi, right? So Liverpool still have any chance of that new number 6 will come this summer?
At the moment, Liverpool sources are saying very, very unlikely that a new 6 will be signed. That we know how they operate in the transfer market, which is kind of, look, if you can't get your number 1 target, we're not just going to sign someone for the sake of it. It has to be someone we truly believe will take us to the next level. And we don't think, other than Zubimendi, they don't maybe think that player is out there. So very, very unlikely they'll sign another 6, which again helps Endo, plays into his hands. It's perfect situation for him because that leaves him as the sole specialist 6 in the squad, really. So that should give him opportunities.
Okay, so we have Liverpool had another Japanese name has been linked to Liverpool this summer, right? So Takefusa Kubo was even reported in Japan that the transfer agreement was really close. What is David's opinion like?
Yeah, so I saw that report and checked in with sources at Liverpool, and they were quite adamant, really, that there was no truth in that, that Liverpool weren't close to getting a deal done or anything like that. So not necessarily saying he's not a target at all, but the idea that he was close in any way, absolutely not. So, and I'd kind of be surprised if he was one who came to Liverpool in this window. I wasn't given encouragement that he would be someone that Liverpool would sign or really looking at. But I think I've no doubt they like him as a player because he's fantastic. The numbers he's putting up, and he's a superstar really in Spain. But I don't think he's someone that Liverpool is specifically targeting at the moment.
So what is the local evaluation on Kubo?
Yeah, so like I say, I think the scouts maybe kind of like the player, they like the idea of it, but it's a long way from going to liking a player to signing them and then being the number 1 target that you would maybe move for. But I know when the news came out that he was potentially signing, there was excitement among supporters, definitely, because he's a big name, a player who's a really good age, he's about to get better, he's already very, very good, he puts up great numbers in La Liga, so he's very highly rated, but like I say, whether that turns into him eventually signing, I'm a little bit skeptical that it would be this summer that he would maybe make that move.
So that's rumored is just happened in Japan, right? So what was the local reaction, kind of like when you guys hear like a rumor of Take Kubo joining Liverpool was reported in Japan?
I think excitement, like I say, I think supporters excited, but as reporters ourselves as well, kind of excited about the idea of that. But as I say, I checked in immediately as soon as I read that, because the report suggested it was very, very close, and so I started panicking, starting to think, okay, well, I need to get hold of this story, and as I say, that was shot down pretty quickly, really. So not something that was close at that time, definitely. So, but yeah, it was an excitement, and maybe there's something in that in the future. Maybe further down the line that Kubo does end up at Anfield, because like I say, he's a player with a lot to like, but it's just maybe not one that's going to happen this summer.
Yeah. So, what are the chance of Kubo will join Liverpool, like, or this summer, or like in this future, like?
Yeah. So maybe if he has maybe another good season where he is at the moment and continues to score goals, and maybe ups his level slightly. You have to obviously got to be ready for that big move to Liverpool. And I think, if he just adds a few more goals and assists this season and kicks his level up a bit, that maybe puts him in a really good position to get that big move next summer.
Yeah.
So maybe not this summer, but can't rule it out further down the line that Liverpool are probably going to need someone pretty soon to come in on that right-hand side where Mo Salah plays. And maybe Kubo would be a great candidate for that, but maybe not this summer. Maybe next summer would be the ideal time for him.
Okay, thank you. So another things kind of like just in this summer, like a lot of Japanese players joining England, right? So Premier League and also like Premiership too. So do you have any reason for this?
I just think they're good enough players, aren't they? I think it's as simple as that. I think they're very, very good players. I think Japan is developing and producing some very good footballers at the moment. And England, and specifically the Premier League, is always going to be an attractive place to go and play football. It's the biggest league in the world. It's got the most money. And so as soon as a country starts to produce players of a very high level, then, a lot of them are always going to end up in England, because that's where, it's the biggest league. And if they're good enough to play there, then they end up there. So I think that's mostly the reason behind it. But I mean, there's been so many great Premier League players coming from Japan down the years, but it does seem like there's quite a few moving in at the moment, which is great. And like I say, speaks to the fact that the Japan national team is very good, and that there's a lot of good Japanese players out there at the moment.
So what is the reputation of Japanese players in England?
I think very good. I think there's kind of a stereotype of I think Takumi Minamino really fit the stereotype of what a Japanese footballer is.
Yeah.
Kind of an attacking midfielder with pace, but real technical quality. I think that's a type of player that Japan is extremely good at producing. And also guys who will work the socks off. They work so hard on the pitch, will run and really sort of, give blood, sweat and tears for the cause. So that's kind of the great reputation I think Japanese players have got in England, and will always be well received by fans, because, as I say, that kind of work rate always seems to be there in Japanese players. And if you do that, then fans will always love you.
So is there any Japanese player who impressed David?
Yeah, well, I was a big Minamino fan when he was at Liverpool. I thought it was fantastic. I mean, particularly his final season at Liverpool, he was absolutely crucial to the fact that Liverpool won 2 domestic trophies. He was top scorer for Liverpool in both tournaments. So
yeah,
that was the season he really showed his quality, really, and showed what he was about. And to be honest, actually, with Minamino, I remember watching him for Salzburg when they came to Anfield, and being absolutely blown away by how good he was. So I remember being very pleased when he signed for Liverpool, and he didn't kind of establish himself as a nailed-on first teamer, because Liverpool had such quality at that time. But he was very well liked by fans, and he did put in a lot of really, really good performances. So, I absolutely loved watching him when he was at Liverpool.
Thank you so much. So back to talk about Liverpool. So we there still have more 2 weeks or 1 week's kind of like it is transfer window, right?
2 weeks, 2 weeks.
Yeah. Okay. So are there still possibilities to sign any players in this summer?
Yeah, I think the expectation is there that Liverpool will sign someone. Who it is, we're not sure yet. The manager said a few weeks back that he expected a couple of signings. He said he would be surprised if no signings came in. So his expectation is that players will be signed. And these things happen very quickly. A name kind of comes out of nowhere, and then a couple of days later, the deal is done and they're holding the shirts up. So there isn't very long left, but the fact we're not hearing any links yet, I don't think you can rule out that a couple of players will come in. And as I say, the manager expects that. So surely the club and the sporting director, they've got to give the manager what it is that he wants.
So did you get any names of players that got hired kind of like, so are there any players in the list?
Yeah, so not at the moment, really, in terms of it's really quiet in terms of who that might be. Obviously, we found out about Zubimendi as reporters when that deal was quite close to being done. Obviously, it didn't get done in the end, but it was close at the time. So these things can come out of completely nowhere. We can hear a name. It was similar with Minamino, actually. I think we heard the name that he might possibly be signing, and then it was done in 24 hours. It was really quick. So I think that links will kind of pop up out of nowhere, and then a deal will get done. So but no names at the moment. So we'll have to see. And I guess that's kind of exciting to see who it's going to be if they do get a couple of deals done.
Okay, thank you so much. So finally, what are your prospects for Liverpool this season?
Yeah, hoping they can get top four. Would love them to be in the title race. But would understand also if that's not quite possible because it's so much change at the moment. But they've got such a good squad, great group of lads who work hard and who've got so much quality. If they can get fortunate with injuries, which has been a real problem in recent seasons, so many injuries. If they can get lucky with that, then maybe they can be in the title race, and then it's a case of if you get the breaks and things go for you, maybe you can win the title. But I think number one aim is to get top four, and anything after that will be kind of a bonus.
Okay, so David, thank you so much. That's all for question tonight. So thank you for time today. And I think there was a lot of information. It was difficult for Japanese fans to get this whole thing. So Japanese football has really continued to really improve right now. So winning the World Cup against Spain and also like Germany 3 years ago. So what is your impression of Japanese football?
Yeah, that it's getting better and better. And like I say, the fact that you see more and more players coming to England, I think is fantastic and speaks to the level that Japanese football is at. Absolutely loved watching them in that World Cup. Actually, were fantastic. One of the great stories of that World Cup as well, I thought, in terms of beating such heavyweight teams. So I'm sure there's more to come as well. Different profiles of players that are being produced. It's just getting better and better. So yeah, really excited by what's to come, and I'm hoping we get another season to watch Endo in Liverpool as well, because I really like him as a player and a guy. So yeah, really sort of impressed by Japanese football, and as I say, I think a lot more to come as well.
Okay, so lastly, please give a few words of Japanese football fans.
Oh well, I mean, I don't know what to say. I want to convince all Japanese football fans to, if you have to pick a Premier League team, then you should pick Liverpool and always support them. And I hope you guys enjoy the coverage in the Premier League, and I always keep an eye out for how Japan are doing as well. So yeah, absolute pleasure to do this with you today. And I have actually just remembered, I used to do karate when I was younger, so
oh, really?
I can actually count to 5 in Japanese. So I can add that into the things that I can say in Japanese. So there you go.
Okay, thank you so much. So did you get any contact from like a Japanese Liverpool football fans, like on X or like some another media?
Yeah, so it's crazy because when you put a story out, obviously some Twitter accounts will reproduce the story and put it out to different supporters, and there's always kind of Japanese accounts will translate it, and so I find it amazing to sort of see my words written out in Japanese, and that someone has bothered to take the time to do that, and yeah, that's incredible. And so many, I speak to some of the fans on there who are Japanese as well, and always great to. It's football is amazing for that. I think in terms of being able to connect with people from all across the world, it's absolutely amazing, and that's one of the things I love about it. And yeah, Japanese football fans are extremely passionate. So, and there's a really nice sort of group of Japanese Liverpool fans as well. So it's quite big over there as far as I can tell. So yeah, that is fantastic.
Thank you so much. So huge thank you for today's guest, David Lynch. Thank you so much.
Thank you.